Allô, monsieur Thomas.
Allô. Comment ça va?
Ça va très bien.
Oh, ok.
J'ai connecté le live. Hein.
Yeah, j'ai vu ça en haut. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. Comment vous portez aussi?
Très, très bien. On remet.
Très bien. Le cousin,
Hey, comment tu vas?
ça va, merci.
Oh.
Comment?
Ça peut aller. Ah, je suis content.
Hey, Dad.
J'étais préoccupé que le Bengis n'allait pas faire apparition, mais c'est bien ça.
Qui est le
Yeah.
Bendis là maintenant?
Le Bengis. C'est frère Thomas. Frère Thomas est à Cotonou.
Ah, il est à Cotonou.
Yeah,
C'est pour cela qu'il est il est dans le bleu.
It's okay. Hey, yeah, mommy's not there.
Now I'm in my room.
Ah, okay, you're by yourself. But his mommy is downstairs, right? Because we're waiting
Yes,
for.
she is.
Okay. Hey, Tata Chris.
Oui, allô, frère Kalebi. Mikuro drama kai mikuro I want to go Miranda.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
Okay,
Wow.
good job. Good job joining.
Yeah. Yes, I don't want to miss
Awesome.
value to it.
Awesome.
Comment ça se passe là-bas?
Oh yeah, it's okay. The weather is what it is. It's kind of dry, and as you know, everything is
Mhm.
it's okay.
Oh, hello.
The non-cloud.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. So,
Hi.
Hello.
how
Tata Colombe,
oui,
ça va?
ça va bien.
Hi everyone.
So,
Hi.
c'est mon tour de
Hi.
parler.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Let me
start sharing.
let me introduce you.
Okay, what about I start sharing first, and you will introduce.
Okay.
But Steve probably gonna introduce some. Okay.
Oh, Thomas, you're lagging. Okay. All right. What it say? Choose what to share with. All right, Shira. A WhatsApp. No.
What do you want to share?
I want to share my screen. Give me 1 minute.
You want to share the
Okay.
PowerPoint?
The PowerPoint.
Go to window.
One down. This one.
Window. Oops.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes,
Yes, we can see your
we
screen.
can now.
So, still, I'm ready.
Oh, you
All right. Okay. We are late 3 minutes, so we have to be quick. So thank you everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining. So tonight Tata Colombe is gonna present the book that we've been reading during last week. So the title is "It Works: The Famous Little Red Book That Makes Your Dreams Comes True." So with that being said, Tata Colombe, you have the floor. After you have, I think you have 15 minutes. After that, whoever want to jump in can jump in for 3 minutes, and then hopefully we can make it on time. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. So the book of this week is so small and little. So I kind of listened to it like 10 times. So the title says, It Works, the famous little red book that makes your dreams come true. by RJH, presented by me. Right. So about the book was originally written in 1926. Where's Beyond? This book could be written in 350 pages, but the author made it simple and concise into a pamphlet of 28 pages. When the author wrote the book, he sent it to a friend for review. The friend returned it with a simple notation. It works. Then the author adopted that as the title of the book. It works. The famous Little Red Book. The man who wrote this book is highly successful and well known for his generosity and a helpful spirit, but he wants to stay anonymous. So there's a little known about the author. His full name is Roy Herbert Jarrett, and he was born in 1874. So how does it work, or what is working? So first of all, you must know what you want, and this is not easy. You must train your objective mind, the mind that you use every day, to decide definitively upon the thing or condition you desire. It's like a radio wave around you, and you must tune in correctly to get the perfect result. Second, you must know or knowledge the mighty power. Some will call it the omnipotent power within you. This power is there willing to serve you when you ask for it. He's capable of giving you that you wish, to give you everything that you wish or desire. It's also known as the subconscious mind. Right? The author call it Emmanuel, God within us. So Emmanuel is capable of and willing to carry to a complete and perfect conclusion every earnest desire of your mind, of your objective mind. But you must really in earnest about what you want. You must sincerely and truthfully desire those things or conditions. The power does not argue, it just goes to work when asked. Do not worry about how it will happen, your dreams, how it will make your dreams come true. By doing this, it like figuring out how a grain put in a fertile soil, a grain of corn, for example, can blossom to hundreds of grains of corn. Also, the author is saying, do not just wish, right? So, for example, at the beginning of the book, he gave some example, and that Jimmy wished to have a red roadster, right? Landon, the salesman, wished for another job, but they never give a thought to the process of how to obtain those things, right? So wishes are simply vocal expression. They are not true desire. So how to make your list? When you want to do your list, sit down and write them down in order of importance. You have to be very precise on things that you want. If you desire a car, you have to write down the color, the model, the year, every aspect of the car that you want. If it's money, write down the exact amount that you desire. If it's, for example, a house, think about the location, the plan, the structure, and all the finishes of your home. And as you progress revise your leaves. You can take some stuff out or you can add some more stuff. So it is okay to be skeptical. So how the plan, this is the plan. Now that you already have your list, he said, read your list, read the list of what you want 3 times each day, morning, noon, and night. Think about what you want as often as possible. Do not talk to anyone about your plan except to the great power within you, which will unfold your objective mind and the method of accomplishment.
One word.
Yeah. So the process. So carefully choose your friends. He mentioned that, and I remember Thomas usually say OQP, only quality people, right? So carefully choose your friend. Associate yourself with people who already have what you desire. There will be moments of doubt. When such moments occur, give thanks and assert credit to the mighty power for the accomplishment. Okay. Also, be caution. It is possible to obtain things that will make you miserable. So basically, do not ask for things that will wreck the happiness of others. Don't wish someone else sickness. Don't wish someone else death. Or don't wish things that will prevent you from uh, going to heaven or obtaining eternal life. You can have what you want, but you must take all that goes with it. So plan for things that will surely make you and others happy. So in conclusion, well, I will say the book itself is a conclusion. So here is the plan he presented to us. It's up to us to practice and do what we want or what we read from the book, right? So we have the information. It's up to us to do what we want to do it and share this information to people who might need it for their life. And thank you. That's the end, I believe. Yes, that's the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow, great, great, great. You you finish even before your your 15 minutes. So that's wonderful.
Thank
So thank you, Tita Colom. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. The book is very small, but valuable information. So the floor is open. Whomever want to jump in to share, just go ahead and do it. You have 3 minutes, and
I'll go.
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
All right. First, I want to thank my mother for the great presentation.
Mhm.
And what I like about the book is that it just tells you what the main idea slash message is and simplifies it instead of drawing out to 300 plus pages. Also, about the 3 rules, I subconsciously followed rules two and three instead of one. I forget to write down what I want.
What?
Sorry.
Say it again.
About the 3 rules, I subconsciously follow rules 2 and 3. I end up forgetting to write down what I want.
Okay, so you need to try to start writing them down, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Now,
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Beyond.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's nice.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna be the next. So Okay. So I'm saying thank you one more time for the presentation. Thank you for the summary, and thank you Beyond also for your contribution. So the book itself, we already know, is a very very short book. I read it. I read it like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Millions there.
It's a really really short book. Yes, but it basically reminding us, some of these main ideas that we've been, reading through 2024 books that we've been reading, self-help books, talking about, how you have to, whatever, goals you have, how can you manage, how can you organize yourself better in order to reach the goal, meaning you have to write down clearly what you want to what are your targets. You have to write them down clearly, and then you have to take some actions, meaning it's a step to a step one step at a time, right? It's like a little steps that you have to take. Is not something that you're gonna achieve, directly. So you have to take, actions, little actions, and also, celebrate, little progress, success, during that path, celebrate little progress, little success. And also he emphasized on being grateful, right? Being grateful for the little success, for the little victory, toward the goal, the final goal. So being grateful and stay humble, and also very consistent and persistent on what I mean on during that journey, because you will be definitely you will be facing some very very difficult time, but you don't have to give up. You have to keep going. You have to keep, keep keep going. You step down, and then you woke up, and then you keep going. Yeah, so the book is good, and it's just a reminder, let's do it, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. Nothing is impossible. There is a sentence that I wrote down today, during Donald Trump, he took put the power today, and he said something. He said, in America, the impossible is what we do the best. And that is something that, I really like that sentence. He said, in America, the impossible is what we do the best. So nothing is impossible. Just do what you have to do. Write your target down, take little steps, celebrate, be grateful, and be consistent. You're definitely gonna get there. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Let me quickly jump in.
Yes.
Thank you, Tata Colom. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for everyone who came before me. And this book, when you read it, you might not take it serious, because
Yeah.
it's so simple that you might think that what he's advising is might not be working. But it's the simplicity that make the exercise more difficult. because when it's too simple, you feel like, oh, I know
I
it
can
already.
do it.
Yeah, I can do it, or I'll delay it, because he's just telling everything that, as Steve said, we already know this method, this system that Brian say you had to write your goal down. Jim Rohn say you had to put it somewhere, because his mentor was asking him whether he has a goal written down. He said no, and the mentor say, "Oh, I can guess the balance of your account if you don't write it down." So yeah, so definitely we had to force ourselves, because it's not easier. Me, at one point of time, I was using the method by Joe Dispenser. Joe Dispenser said that, is it Joe Dispenser, or I can't remember now. Yeah,
Which
I think it's Joe Dispenser or another guy, the same philosophy, was saying that you do the same thing, but try to speak on recorder and listen to it when you are sleeping. Oh, I have this, I have that, I want this, I need this, I want to stop smoking, I want, and you say those things and put it on your head while you are sleeping, because when you are sleeping, your subconscious, your conscious mind is no longer awake, but the subconscious mind is still awake and is going to listen. I did that, but trust me, sometimes I don't even when was the last time I was listening to that? I can't remember. So we know the rules, but we don't practice. That's the main problem for our our evolution. But definitely, we are here to remind each other that it's necessary to do something like that. And thank you again, Tata Colombo, and thank you, everyone.
you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
Shira, you want to share
Okay,
something?
can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead, Thomas.
You're not the moderator.
Uh-oh.
Can y'all hear him?
So, yeah, I got to learn that now. So anyway, thank you, Colum, for the presentation. Like you said, the book is small, and you made it quick. If it was beyond, probably in 1 minute, we should have finished that. So, all the opportunity, someone in the group shared this book. Other than that, we're never going to know about it, and that's what the book called for, right? After you read, to let them know.
Other
So,
people share.
um, think I'm going to go about like the abstract, right? Because it's an abstract by itself, but how to carry out the plan. Most of us, at some point during the work week, will be traveling, right? Maybe you drive to work, and probably you might be at work at lunchtime today. But the book is asking us to repeat 3 times a day. Like Nasif say, you have to not only have the goal written, but you have to carry them with you one way or another. If you don't carry with you, you won't be able to practice. And then if they're only in our memory, forget it. We are on ground zero. We're not going to do anything. The other part of the book is faith. Not talking about religious faith, but about faith, right? The power in you, or whatever, how we call it. We're talking about faith. You have to believe in whatever you're calling and you want. You have to believe yourself. That's why in the book he's talking about the subconscious mind, because the conscious mind gonna try to make it logic, right? And you start thinking, how I just gonna read my goal and keep repeating to myself, and finally it will work. You know, and so that's why the logic part, we have to be careful to not too much think how it will happen. And they give the example of the seed. What is the logic when we put the seed in the ground? As soon as it's dark, it's a little bit humid, then that thing will grow. But it grows two ways, right? Every plant grows two ways. One to gravity and another one to the sun. That's the way a plant. That's why we have the roots and they go down in the ground, and the other part grow up on the surface. But again, if the farmer doesn't believe, he's never going to put the seed in the ground. Nobody know what is inside the seed. You can keep it in the room for years, and as soon as you got the good condition, and the ground is our mind for this book. If the idea is put in correctly, it's gonna grow. Thank you again. That's where I'll stop. Thank you. It's a small book, but we need to do something about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Fred Thomas.
Like Beyonce said,
Thank you.
he forgot to write. And after reading this book, I still don't have a list. I don't even know what I want. I don't know what I want. But yeah.
But that's a good point. If we don't know what we
Yeah.
want, we'll do what some other people want because other people have their list.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, people, let
You
me
bet.
jump in. Thank you. Um, thank
Interesting.
you, Pastor Colomb, for the wonderful presentation.
You're welcome.
This book is like those books that we read, the valleys, um, uh,
Think and grow rich.
yeah, Think and Grow Rich
Grow
or Who
rich.
Moved My
Power
Cheese.
The
of
Those kind of
the
books.
power of our subconscious mind,
Yeah,
especially that one.
yeah.
Mhm.
But these tiny books that we read by the highs and the valleys, or the Who Moved My Cheese,
Peak and
tiny books.
valley. Yeah.
Yeah, Picks
Mhm.
and Valley. Thank you. Picks and Valley, Who Moved My Cheese. And now we have It Works. Little book with powerful message. And like Freya Arun has mentioned, we tend to say, okay, it's a small book. We got it. But really, we don't get it. We don't get it. And just like this is a real example, like Sir Colum just said, she still hasn't gotten a list because sometimes we think in our
The,
head, we got it. In
beyond
our
my
right?
yes.
In our head, we know what we want we know where we want to be in the next, I'm going to say, let's say 2 to 3 years. But we don't, even though we are reading it and we are aware of it, the practice of it is a whole different process. And I remember Freya Aruna saying this, that this is a whole different process. And if you guys are struggling with it, I don't know, we who are coming right behind you, we struggle even more because in this society, you have your mind and your eyes on 100 things. It's
The
so
same time.
difficult to get organized, to say, okay, let me grab a paper or pen, or even get on the computer, open a Word or whatever you work with, and say, this is my goals. These are my steps to get to it. And these are the actions that I will be taking on a weekly or a daily basis to get me uh, to 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 this objective in a year, 2 years, or 3 years time. So I believe books such as Eat That Frog or Goals, How to Get What You Want Faster Than You Think by Brian Tracy. One thing is to be aware of something, but the other one is to master it. And I think we need to give ourselves time to go back to some of these books that we have read. Steve and I, we have at least 11 books, him and I, that we really want to go back to because it requires mastering. We will never be perfect, but the art of rereading books or rereading something helps you get more out of it. So this book is a reminder again that we have to we have to repeat things in order to master it, even subconsciously repeating it, like intentionally doing things to be able to master it, because that's the only way our brain can retain things. We are not born, neither are we educated to do this stuff on our own. It has to be intentional. It has to be practical. It has to be like doing it over and over again till we get it, or till it becomes like a practice for life. That's what I get from this book. And it's still like, I don't have a list, even though I know where I want to be in 2 or 3 years. I still don't have anything in written form. It's mind-boggling. This is where we are, and this is the reality of things. So this is another wake-up call for me personally, to really go back to some books and practice things, be intentional with things. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristen.
I want to add to that. There's also the fear. Okay. So, because you can put the list down and you will be like, is that all I want? See what I mean? That the fear of not dreaming big also is there to not
No,
make it
no,
so.
no. But the small book answered that. He said, "You be reading, and as soon as you
And
read,
then refining
yeah,
it.
you refine it. You
Yeah.
might add one Tesla today, and tomorrow you say, no, no, no. Why only one? I need 10. So yeah, you just
Okay.
refine it the way you want it, but at least start it. At least
Study.
start it. Yeah.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, and sometimes you might have the list because everyone is pointing out that they don't have the list. Me, I do have the list, but sometimes you don't even bother to read it. You don't even bother to bring it to your picture. So it's not matter of having the list necessary, but it's having the routine to read it all the time is
Yeah.
what is not feasible to me anyway.
So, before I know still have party, but to
Mhm.
what we are reading, what we are saying, there is a lapse between what you learn and what you do.
To
And if that time is too long, you ended up in ground zero. You don't do anything, right? And that's what we need to
Mhm.
avoid in this club here. When you get the message, the execution has to be quick enough. Other than that, you become like kind of a reader, right? You're not a doer. There is one book that we read. I don't know the title, and one of the message from it I was saying we all should have 350 goals. Do you remember?
goals.
And I say
Mhm.
Good setting.
when you get to
Goal setting.
65, it will be difficult, but that's where you're gonna
Mhm.
break the ground like someone who is running. At some point, your body feel tired and you want to give up. But if you keep going, then you break through, and that's where. So, if we practice some of those things before reading this book now, it will feel like we are in execution mode already. So maybe each of us, give us like maybe a week or two to say, okay, in 2 weeks when I come to this meeting, I want to tell you guys I have my goal. I start practicing, and I can show you a little, not a paper, but something. Other than that, it will be a good readers only.
Oh. So
Thank you.
let promise Paris, someone will keep us accountable. And every time we come, we'll take 2 minutes. So everybody will say, okay, I have my list and I've been reading it. Oh, no, I missed one day or I missed one time yesterday, to see if we will. So next time we
Yeah.
can start doing that.
I know that the book say don't share your list, but maybe to be accountable, we can read it at least in turn. Say, oh, this is my list, and you read it loudly, so it can force us to read at least once a week.
Once a week.
At
Okay.
least.
Well, that would be a beginning. Yeah. I can take on that to make people accountable.
Yeah.
Accountability is a good way to go. I don't think necessarily we have to read it to each other, but I think it's just the knowing that you may be asked that question. How are things going with your goals? Have you read your goals? I think that's a good even accountability, because we
Yeah.
all want to be honest with ourselves. So what we are telling is powerful. So some of us are not just one; there are two people in most of the households. So I think it will be hard to lie. So even just that accountability alone, I think is a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes. So, Mr. Charlemagne, Mr.
Yes.
Joshua.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Tata Colom.
You're welcome.
I'm so grateful for your presentation. And like myself, I listened to it since Fred Thomas sent it. I listen at least, I can't even count, but 5 to 10 times. And like Fred Arun was saying, the first few sound so simple to me and almost meaningless. But I kept telling myself that yes, but that is the meaning. I tried to interpret the book and said, okay, the one to whom the manuscript was given came back and said it works. And I just remember, Einstein, who said that everything should be as simple as possible, but not simpler. So I said, okay, if this is as simple as possible, how is it not too simple then? And I just tried to think about the book in depth and then listen to it by looking at the pages and paid more attention to it and said, well, it's like what Tata Colom said, it is the power of your is this the conclusion or the summary of the power of your subconscious mind or any of those, book, the book of the kind. It doesn't need to be 350 pages. It's just simple. Get your goal, believe in it, read it regularly, refine it as you go, but believe in the power in yourself. Emmanuel, God is in us. You have already the power and get it done. So shamefully, myself, I did not do it, but I kept promising myself to do it by the time we get here today. So I probably took advantage of the group, got my book, and then wrote my main ideas down as we were presenting, at least today. And I believe it is a very good start. I knew, as Christelle was saying, we have an idea of what we want. And okay, I don't know others, but sometimes I get scared to write it down because I have probably that I do not have the belief enough to get it accomplished. And that also make me hesitant a little bit. But this time I said, no, it works. Okay. And it is that simple. And now, 100 years after, we are reading a 15-page book or 20-page books of somebody who has written long ago. It is so meaningful. So that is what I could share with the group. Yes, it doesn't need to be, glamorous. It doesn't need to be voluminous. Let us just take that leap of faith, jump in, believe in it. And I love the quote. I didn't watch the inauguration, but this is the best thing I could share. That as I heard it from Steve. eh. In America, the impossible is what we do the best. And we happen to be American. Yes, whatever, even by feeling, when I heard it, I say, yes, this is what I needed. I had that feeling sometimes, even when I'm trying to write it down, that it doesn't convince me enough, but that shouldn't be. I should, take it in this country, in this world, and in each of us. The impossible is what we actually do the most and the best. So, yeah, let's get going. It didn't take me long. Within 5-10 minutes, I've already written the major part of what I wanted to do as the key idea. Anyone could also, or just get started. And en mangeant, l'appétit vient, comme on le dit en français. Donc, as we are eating, the feeling follows. The appetite follows. So that is my point. And thank you very much. Is a good book. It's very easy, and also it might be a kick-ass to get something going. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Uncle Charles.
Thank you.
No
Okay,
problem.
so I'm gonna still have 20 minutes. So I'm gonna add something quickly.
Okay.
Joshua, excuse me. So
Okay.
since we're talking about, the fact that we have to apply things that we are reading, it's been, I think, 3 or 4 sessions that we had already, and we were supposed to start writing down our book. If we don't start, we never write that book 2025. So let's schedule it, put our ideas together, and then let's do it 2025. Let's say let's I don't know, what do you think? Let's put like a deadline, maybe, I don't know, maybe March or April or whatever. Find it, the date and time, and schedule it. Let's schedule together, and put our ideas together, and let's write that book down, and then from there we can find another project that we can work together. And but let's do it. If not, 2025 will go, and we won't do it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If you don't start, you don't know, you never get there. Just go ahead and start, and then you can adjust by going. That's one thing that I've learned a lot from our books 2024. You have an idea, don't think too much. If you feel like it's something that you can do, go ahead and do it. And you can adjust by doing, you can adjust by before you know, you become a master. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen
I agree. And if I may just say something quick about what Steve said, let's not necessarily plan it to the end, but at least the next step. We have already shared it to everyone. Let's just meet the next. We should just schedule the next time we are meeting, with everyone coming with his development, and we'll put that one together and think about what follow next. Little by little, we'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, let me go. Good evening to everybody.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Yeah,
George.
good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this little book is quite amazing. I think I've read it so many times, and to be honest with you, I felt like I've wasted my time reading the big books. Yeah, because it summarizes all those big books we have read.
You bet.
And when I read it, I said, "Oh my goodness! Look, I could just have read this thing." And but the principles are just so amazing. I have it on my laptop. It sits on my desktop, and it's been there for years and years. That's how close I am with it. And I just want to say to you, I have seen the principles in that book work for me.
Oh, wow. Already.
Yeah,
Wow, I love that.
they work for real. I've seen amazing things just following those principles. And yes, I believe that for you to achieve anything, first you must write it down. That you must have. And if you don't write things down, I am seeing it with myself. I think of late, I feel like I am not moving as much as I would want to. And I reflect on it, and I think if I look back, the years when I used to be very successful, I always carried a notebook with me wherever I went. And I stopped that practice, and I can see from the time I've not been carrying the notebook that things don't go as well as I would want.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would stick with those principles. And I've heard people talk about, I don't have the list yet. Do get that list, because, you know, Newton's first law of motion says for every, it says, oh, wait a minute. It says an object at rest remains at rest unless acted upon by an external force. Now, the only thing I'll change on this law is you are the external force. Nothing happens until you act. And it's starting with having a list and then working on that list. And once you have the list and you start working on it, magic starts to happen for real. And as I say, I've seen it happen for a very long time. This is how I have shaped my life. The only thing that I think we don't agree of listening to people tonight was, do you share with your list with others or you don't? Now, as for me, I would testify that things that have happened for me with this process, I did not share my list. It was my list, I had it. Sometimes I would kind of like forget about it and then go back and work on it. But at the end of the day, when I looked at what has transpired, it was exactly as I had written on that list. The dates in terms of the timelines, it was exactly as the timelines, and the things that I had put in there were exactly as I had done that. So I think for me, I just want to testify that it works, and I would really encourage everybody to put that list together. I encourage myself too, because I've stopped doing it. I encourage myself to start doing it so that I can start to see things happening in my life the way they have happened in the past. So that's all I needed to share with you, just to share my testimony that yes, this works for real. It works.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I also want to share a real experience that I had recently. I guess you guys saw the flyer that I sent into our groups for the my project little school that I'm about to to start helping the community members to people that are really interested on learning this computing networking stuff. So when I started, I was really hesitating. You know, I was initially I thought, okay, let's let's see, 2025 will, all the way to maybe December or November 2025, and then I will see where I am as far as my abilities, my competencies are concerned. But at some point I was like, okay, I said the same thing to 2024. Why do I have to postpone all the way to 2025? So I said, okay, you know what, Steve, just go ahead and sit in front of the computer. We have a lot of tools, AI tools and stuff for, to create, if you want to do the advertisement, or if you want to create like a flyer or stuff like that. So I did a little bit of research, and I found a good tool that help you to create those, the stuff, and you can modify yourself. And so I did it, and initially I sent it to Chriselle, and we were like, okay, it's fine, it's fine. And I shared it in in some of the group, that I have, and some friends. But with time, every week, sometimes I print it, and sometimes I will sit down. This is the one of the sample. Sometimes I will sit down, and then I will look at it, and I was like, okay, I think I have to change this. So I will jump up, I will change something. And then I will do a little bit of research. I will Google what other people do. Like, okay. And then I will change a little, and then finally, maybe a week ago, or a little more, I have corrected the initial sample, and I came up with what I can call the final sample, that when I look at it and I compare it with what I had initially, I see a lot of improvement. And it's just it's a little example. So if you don't start, you don't know. So just start, and you're gonna change. You're gonna make a little bit of change, and before you know, you're the master. So again, let's go ahead and do what we have to do. Let's jump in and do what we have to do, and everything will be great. Sorry, Shael, I know you want to say something, but I just wanted to share my experience as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Steve.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good experience to get
So,
started. Yes.
I guess I'll go pretty quickly. So, for all the people who say they don't have a list or they're not sure where to start, for me personally, what I do is that I have a little notes app on my phone, Google Notes. I can access it from my computer too. Whenever I want something, or whenever I think of something I need to do, or whenever like anything comes to my mind, I go to the app and I write it down, right? So it doesn't have to be an app. Just have a way that you can write something down when it comes to you really quickly, right? Because you are not going to remember it even like 10 minutes after it happened, right? So if you're able to write it down when it comes to you, you're able to accumulate your list of things you want and things you need to do so much faster, right? You might see something online and you get an idea. You're going to forget that idea really quickly, right? Have it somewhere where you can write it down. The next thing about the book, it's short, but what's good about it is that it allows you to get a lot of repetitions in. And when you, as the repetitions accumulate, right, you read the book 5 times, that's 140 pages, right? That's like one of the smaller ends of books that we're reading, right? You read the book 10 times, 280 pages. That's like the average around the books we're reading, right? So even though it's a small book, the repetitions can catch up to you. So don't underestimate it. What I do think I like about the book is that it's a good starting point, right? Oftentimes people are like, oh, I don't know where to start when it comes to just like reading the books or improving yourself, right? And I think this book is a really good starting point and something you can recommend to people, even if you're not recommending the whole club, right? It's just like, 28 pages, right? Really quickly. Like, I personally, when I first read it, I finished it in 30 minutes, right? So, and that was me taking my time with the book. And then just a couple small things. First, for Steve, a tip I recommend: whenever you have something that you're like continuously making changes to, what I recommend is have a set date that you're going to send out those changes, right? It might be once a week, it might be once every 2 weeks, and then just keep making changes, right? So you don't have to continuously send out the update, right? You just like, this is the point in time I'm going to make changes. And oftentimes, when that point in time comes, you get more inspired to make the small changes that you want to make.
Yeah, thank you.
Another thing, the tip about only quality people, right? What I would say here is that it's not so much like, oh, they need to be the best of the best, but it's just don't be around people who drag you down, right? Just because they aren't pushing you forward constantly doesn't mean that they're a negativity in your life, right? Because you don't know when they could become a positivity, or you don't know when they could help you, right? But just don't be around people who drag you down, but don't push away the people just because they're not actively being there, right? A small thing that I disagree with the book on, again, is the don't talk to others about your plan. I think you should tell others about your plan, right? Because that social
Makes
pressure
you
will
more
get you to
accountable.
do things. Yeah, it makes you accountable, right? But that ties into the other idea, and that is that the book was first written in 1926, right? And I found that interesting because this year is 99 years, right? Society is a completely different place now, completely different values, completely different way of life, completely different technology, right? So I guess the idea, the thing I just want to think about is like, what was that 350-page manuscript from 100 years ago? What did that look like? What was there, right? Businesses were completely different. The way you'd start a business, the way you'd advertise, everything was completely different, right? So just like, what were they thinking about that long ago, and why is it still so relevant, right? And I think it's still so relevant because he cut it down to that 28, and once he got it to the essence of it, there wasn't anything that was tied physically to the time, right? There wasn't any ideas that were tied to that time. It was more so just like, okay, these ideas will outlive the mindset of the person creating it, right? This like, write down what your goals, and push yourself towards it with your mind. So I think that's it for me. Thank you everyone for what you said. Thank you, Colum, for the presentation. It was a good presentation, and I hope everyone stays warm and safe because it's going to get really cold.
Yeah, it will.
Let me add a quick advice
Yeah.
before we close. The first book in this trend that I read was The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
Yeah.
And that's what, I mean, that was my, what pushed me on this road to be reading. And what I noticed, and what is very, very easy when I was looking for that things, because when I was in London, I didn't have my paperwork, and it was very, very capital for me, and I wanted, it was written what I want and put it in affirmation. What I mean, when we go to religious purpose, they say, "Oh, try to read 10 times, Je vous salue Marie," or something like that. We read it
Yeah.
like a bead. So you transform that list that you have as like chanting to yourself anywhere you are.
Yeah.
And I did that. I did that when I was in London. And until today, if I start chanting that, it seems like I'm possessed. I'm in a different mood. So yes, you can write it as a goal and put it not too much words, but just the main word, and try to chant it for yourself anywhere you are. La paix, la joie, la réussite, la paix, la joie, la réussite, mes papiers, la paix, something like that. And you keep chanting anywhere you are. The subconscious is listening because he knows that, oh, the peace is what you want, money is what you want, the paperwork is what you want. You just chanting that way. And it was what helped me to come across from London to here today. So I was just thinking to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like we say, yeah. And from that subconscious book, there are some phrases that I wrote down, and I keep saying, and today, but it's not like a goal in mind, but phrases of happiness, success, stuff like that, but not right. And every morning after my prayer, I just say it, and well, I don't repeat it every day, all day, but yeah, every morning, and it's like a part of